All right, hello everyone. My name is Disc. This video is a 20 Nexus-Point Xenas for the lose. I do have this key timed, but I wasn't recording it, sadly. But someone was requesting it, and we can certainly still post a failed video and talk about things. My gameplay was, I think, spot on. I'm actually not sure how or why we were so far behind. So that is something I'm going to be thinking about as we watch this. But we were over time by about 2 minutes, so that's not good. And I think we only had 2 deaths on the clock. Which doesn't seem to be the sole reason for the failure. So let's see if we can figure it out. Here's a quick flash of my talents. Pause it if you want. We definitely want Mass Dispel and Phantasm for the snares. And we have some really big UI changes I'm excited to feature in a video. One is tracking Harsh Discipline's timer, have it display right under my player's mana. And then the biggest thing I've done in a long time is I've lowered all of my enemy nameplates on the Y-axis. Really big deal for ranged classes to help prevent nameplates from crunching together at the top of your screen. Should have done it a long time ago. I don't know why I didn't think to. Okay. So Phantasm those snares right the hell off. Set our focus early. And I'm thinking heavy dot spread here the best I can. PI's out. Watching ground damage. In this first round, I paired it with Evangelism. And we can see on the target's nameplate here, we can track the invisible timer of that AoE. So let's see, it's a couple seconds away. That's where I want to place my uppies, I'm guessing. Okay, so I had to do a couple of manual spells, then closed it out with uppies. And all I'm thinking about through here is mana. So anytime I can get a natural mana break, take it, like right here. I still have Meld. It's reserved for mana. Okay, so I'm pull open. Dot spread. Major. So I've been getting in a lot better practice since recording this video even, with using the new UI feature I brought in. That little icon right above my pennants shows my target's dot presence. And it's helping me determine, is my pennants going to miss or hit a dot for the dot spread? We never really, ever want to cast a pennants on an enemy without a dot. So that's been a really nice addition. It took maybe a week for me to train my eyes to start looking there to fetch that information. But it's so useful when you have like a yes or a no for does my target have a dot so that I can fire pennants. Okay, so this is likely a drink. Yeah, a drink. Probably should have melded that one out sooner, but we still have meld for the recovery up top. Let's see, we have PI to give. Radiance the closest mob. I'm sorry, Radiance the closest ally. Gave me an 80-yard range heal on that Radiance. On open, I'm thinking about dot spread. But yeah, I'm really, really loving having brought my nameplates down on the Y-axis. Big. Dispelling as quickly as I can through here. I would say it's low priority. I try to put other spells on cooldown first. Phantasm that right off. And this, to me, so in hindsight, we were talking about why we didn't time the key. I think this is very off-standard for 20s. Splitting this group up. This was probably the main contributor to us failing. Okay, so we're tracking this one spell, the arcing, who knows what it's called. But I'm trying to hold back on all of my major spells here and just naturally heal it. So I pair Mind Blast against it, and that's really all you need. Mind Blast and a couple offensive penance. So here comes the next one, right on time. Uh-oh. Okay, so that's a contributor. There goes 15 seconds plus. So on boss, I feel so much more comfortable with it now than I did probably last week. Quick meld, yeah, I really needed that. So I think it's easier than I used to think. I used to get stressed out. Let's see how I do it. So I want to play one Mind Blast early, mainly for the damage. The second one I hold. This is not a good spot. So I'm only tracking the Core Spark detonation. That's really the only thing that matters. The single target attack, super easy to manage and see with Ellesmere's targeted casts on my raid frames. But approaching this Core Spark, I'm going to go ahead and play the Mind Blast, and then from here on out, I'm banking all of my penance. So I think my first round, let's see, I'm going to want to queue uppies for the uptime. So I start with standard heals, uppies late. High prio is watch for the person that's targeted for the single target and heal them. So, yep, that was the uppies round. Nothing else was used but natural spells. I had 2 large penance from Radiance. I pretty much just spammed both of them back to back going into that absorb round. Flash heal who I need to, 2 defensive penance, and it's prime time to pain sup someone for the overlapping mechanic with the single target. Okay, so let's watch how the second one goes. It's Evangelism. So I'm gonna go Evangelism, Radiance, Radiance. Watching for the single target to go out. Evangelism, Radiance. I actually held back on one of my Radiance. But it's been a popular play of mine just to dump both Radiance right there, especially with the Evangelism first. Doing my best to always bait those to the wall as ranged. So the single target mechanic is really the only thing that's going to kill someone as long as you play your spells right. And Ellesmere's targeted casts cheeses it. Okay, so here comes the big mechanic. I'm banking all of my penance. I have 2 Shadowman procs, so this should be easy. Fade and Desperate Prayer. So that was probably the easiest round yet, having 2 Shadowmans banked. And at this point, I'm thinking just be a DPS priest. And a lot of times you want to strategically hold this mechanic. It does hurt you. Like not too bad, but not too little either. You have to pay attention, but holding it sometimes strategically can give you better placement in the room. I think there were some examples in there, but I was talking about something else. Okay, 50% mana. Let's see. First thing I'm going to want to do here is refresh a palm. Try and always play those out of combat. Yep. And then start playing penance. Actually, just kidding. Start drinking. I also added a ping to my focus macro. Ping attack target. I like it. Okay. So high prio, get dot spread. Using my target dot frame on my penance as my tool. And evangelism early. So I picked both my defensives. And a defensive penance, really just wasn't playing around there. Yeah, I forgot how handy that was back when we had Weaker. I was tracking my target's dot, like associating it with my penance spell icon. The add-on's called... I forget what it's called. If anyone's interested, let me know. I can give you the tip. But basically, I turn it to only show one unit. And it's going to show the longest unit for us, which will always be Shadow Word Pain if it's on the mob. I also updated my my keybind for casting my dot. For the entire time I played Priest, I could only cast dot from my keyboard. But I added a way to cast dot from my mouse. It's like either hand can do it. Really nice. Okay. So we have a lot of spells to give here. I have uppies. The strongest uppies is going to have dots out first. So let's see. Always remembering to play a flash shield, proccing our 10% DR. And I uppies once I feel I have substantial dots out. So the dots are going to give you a nice backbone to the uppies. Also, your penance bolts from the uppies are going to refresh the timers on all the dots. So, yeah, just when you can, try and get dots out first. Play a cast on the way up, play a cast on the way down. And I need to edit that add-on showing me the lust with that little raccoon. I'd rather it just be a lust icon. But I can't find an add-on to do that anymore. Okay, so talking about where we've lost time, right here. So as soon as we lost one player, immediately paints up the tank just to try and help stabilize. We were at a 2-stack. Generally, I can get through this area without any paints ups. But we did have 2 to give. Okay, so incoming damage, I fade. Mind blasts. Shadowman's for the win. Only 10% mana. I think I'm... forget how we play this. So I'm running into it a lot with tanks, where they don't watch healer mana. And it's just the worst place to be in, where I'm expected to stop healing the group and type. When it's just something the tank should be doing also. I think they would say something to the effect of, but monks don't use mana. To me, that just shows how inexperienced they are, that they can't adapt to a situation. You can't... I think anyone who's listening knows what I mean. Like, you can't just do what you want because you're partial to monks. Like, is that what you're saying? You have to look at what the group has. And if you're playing with an Oracle Disc Priest, you have to have it in your UI already to see my mana and be primed to watch it. I do have Meld though, but I've just not had a chance. But I'm sure I'm gonna get one for us. I can't even cast, and this guy's still... So like there I am trying to type again, almost dying because I'm typing. So, like I would say this is some loss as well. It's hard to split if anyone wants to chime in. But, so like I do 30,000 damage per second while I can cast. So I'm doing less damage per second, which is hurting the clock. Small, but this is another area of loss for us. But here's our meld. I'm watching my Shadow Mid about to expire. Ooh. Quickly got him. Okay. So that's my rant. It's just the worst feeling. It's like totally helpless when a tank just barrels through a dungeon without any sort of awareness to like even think to look at my mana and just put me in this position where everyone's dying. I can't even cast. That's not the experience I want when I pay money to,
What a miserable display. You have all failed in your purpose.
Okay, so I pick my focus early. Dot spread is the first name of the game. And I have an uppies I definitely want to play here. This is going to be the last one before boss. And we have PI and 10. Okay, focusing on some dot spread. Here comes PI. Something else I've been trying to do as well, just to protect the PI. Anytime I cast one out, I try and favor that player, like with a Void Shield, for example. So you want to protect the PI. I think that's what I did there, is PI the Demon Hunter, then shielded him. Okay, this one picked. Fade. Pin at some mob with a dot. Okay, this is a little spooky. Using dot spread with that penance. Okay, back to dot spread. Couple natural dots, penance. The heal absorb, you have to heal it off. Really not a problem as long as you have a proc. Found a target with a dot for the penance. Yeah, when it comes to dotting and penance, so important for our gameplay right now. A little weighted too heavily if you ask me, but dots are expensive, penance is not expensive. So we really want our penance to do the work whenever we can for our dot spread. Hence the little Shadow Word Pain icon above my penance. Focus on the big guy. Fade for the group damage. We see that timer on his nameplate. I do want to execute. Everyone was missing health. So execute, even when you catch someone sub 20, is such a weak spell for us right now. It's almost a wasted global. There's a lot of times while you're waiting for your GCD that you need to do something else, so the juice just ain't worth the squeeze, but every now and then I'll try for an execute if the party needs it. Okay, that was a lot of radiance, but we had it to give. Okay, let's see. So at this point, we're holding all spells. Do we have one more round? I forget. Okay, so this boss is the only one that spooks me. Sometimes it goes better than others, and I feel like maybe Oracle just isn't the best at it. We're encouraged to attack the enemy, so we really have to try and like trust our atonements, weave in void shields, keep our 10% DR from flash shield procced, personals, and just attack the enemy. So tracking that 2-target cleave, waiting for the adds to come in to fire my penance. Really want the dot spread here. So I have uppies. Defensive penance. Uppies is going to be my first play. It makes it free. PI. Put my penance on cooldown first. Uppies with a death on the way up. Desperate Prayer. Void Shields. And we're A-okay. But the next one gets a little spookier without the uppies. But all you have to do, I would say, is in a moment like this, scan your buffs, plan your next play. We have both paint ups. One can go personal. We will have evangelism. Okay, so the second one, this is never good to get it. So I think I use Fade to help me with the 2-target cleave. But now I'm not going to have Fade on the flare. Paints up myself. Another paints up. Another Fade. Okay, so that one was more of a defensive play, doing direct casts on allies rather than attacking. It's just a combo of both, you know. Okay, so we can see that 2-target cleave going out. I void shield them ahead of the attack. It might be better, I guess, arguably, if I delay the void shield, because the atonement healing that triggers from it might go to overhealing that way. Good thing the season's ending. So I put a shield on, I fade. Okay, I have Desperate Prayer played. Fade.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, so no one died. It wasn't. Well, I was gonna say maybe it wasn't amazing, but no one died. So I don't think Oracle does it that well. Voidweaver does it a lot better. But this is where it's kind of just game over. We only have 7 minutes on the clock, but let's not worry about it for the sake of the video. So right here, you can do a click and drink. Big.
Starting the bridge now.
So I think we pull a little crazily, trying to time, but the way we pull this causes deaths. I don't think this would be standard. When it comes to the mobs next that apply magic dots, we have Mass Dispel, which is great, but we have to be careful how many of those we have engaged at once. And I think he just goes crazy here. So I have a skull marked. So Mass Dispel. Never forget your single Dispel. Paints up one, heal the other. Really all I'm doing here is babysitting the magic dots. We do have PI. There it goes. We also have uppies. I don't think I die here, but we have other deaths. It's just too many of these magic dots, to be totally honest. Okay, and a slight mistake there. I don't think it's what causes deaths. But I spent my Dispel on a magic dot that was expiring in a fraction of a second. It's like I healed through it and then consumed the Dispel. Okay. Yeah, I vote no here because I'm just going for the vid. I didn't die. But that's not a good play to have 3 magic dots like that out at a time. I think he was pulling a little bit wonky to try and salvage the key. But who knows? I think maybe if he pulled standard, there might have been a better shot at winning. But yeah, I would say all of these deaths were just flukes to Hail Mary. Most of the bosses were pretty okay. And the last boss is okay. Oh shit. Okay, so we need some dot spread here. We have evangelism. Watching for natural dots. So the shaman honestly just got fucked there. I might have been able to save him with a pain sup. But if you replay that, he took the magic dot and a 2-stack of the Searing Rend or whatever it's called. I ain't wasting a pain sup on that, shaman. Okay, I'm gonna want a milled drink here for boss. Just got PI. Why am I not drinking? Okay. So thankfully this is a boss that does not stand you up when it engages. And I'm trying to watch the active damage meter to see like when the Demon Hunter pops off and PI him when he like queues up his spells. But it looks like nothing's happening. Like maybe he didn't have meta. But I don't want to miss Lust. So I go ahead and cast it on him. I think the better play there would have been if I were able to kind of just modify on the fly. PI the shaman immediately on Lust, gain a little more uptime, and I would have been able to PI someone in their spell window. I was trying to favor the Demon Hunter just because he's number 1, but without spells, not a good PI. Okay, so I Mind Blast Radiance to give a big fat penance of damage. This last little window I think of as just DPS Priest. I generally like playing my Fade in here. Oh wow. And a Radiance, just in case. And we all almost died. Okay, so Mind Blast ahead of the Brilliant Dispersion. Generally, it's better to play the Mind Blast on the Dispersion. But the whole group needed help from that hit. I needed to get us topped before anything happened. And then you modify on the fly. Time's out in 40 seconds. Okay, so Fade, Radiance, Offensive Penance. And we do have uppies. I'm going to play it after. So one final Mind Blast here. Radiance for the extra bolts. Penance for the damage. Fade. Radiance. Yep, in the interim I like to Fade and Radiance. Here comes PI. Probably should have hit the Shaman again. Hit him that time. Yeah, I really wish I could track at least one party spell. Like as a priest, I think it's important to track offensives of your team for PI. And I would say I think that's actually in line with what Blizzard wants. They want us to become better players and coordinate, keep things simple. But as like an augur priest, in order to even attempt to maximize in a pug, you have to see offensive cooldowns. Okay, DPS as much as I can. Mind Blast Penance. Already had played the Radiance. Fade, just in case. And we're back. Okay, both paints ups. I have my wall this time. Two Shadow Mends for the win. Who else is looking forward to Season 2? Looks like I held my Void Shield to see who was picked. Ouch. So I think, too, we might have just had low damage in the group. I don't think we had strong, confident pulls from the tank either. A few too many silly deaths that cost us not only 15 seconds, but plus some. And a Hail Mary with too many magic dots. So I think those were all the things that contributed to this failure. Thankfully, I've already timed the 20. Sadly, it wasn't videotaped. But I think this video serves the same purpose for anyone who wants to see how Disc runs this key, because I think I did my job pretty well. Yeah, Mass Dispel for the win, and yeah, until next time, Disc.